Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Now Foods Monthly Webinar Series. My name is Susan Valakis, and I'm the Training Development Coordinator for our online education program, Now Productology. If you have questions during the presentation, just click on the little chat bubble that you see on your screen, type your question, and send it, and we will respond directly to you by email within 24 hours. And finally, about an hour or so after the presentation, you'll receive an email with a link to the recorded copy of this presentation so you can use it for replay or to share it with your staff. Today's webinar is presented by Elise Kaiser, Vice President of Sales in the Americas for NattoPharma. NattoPharma is the leader in vitamin K2 research and development and the exclusive global supplier of MenoQ7, the only clinically validated vitamin K2 as MK7. With a degree in holistic nutrition, Elise has a great understanding of nutrition and the impact of complementary nutrients, and she has cultivated an impressive sales record over the last decade, serving the natural products and supplement industries. Elise is skilled at evaluating options and generating solutions for companies that can benefit from innovation and driving brand growth. She oversees the company's U.S. sales team and is based in New Jersey at NattoPharma's U.S. headquarters. So with that, please join me in welcoming Elise Kaiser for this webinar presentation, Vitamin K2, an Essential Nutrient for Healthy Aging. Welcome, Elise.
Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Vitamin K2, an essential nutrient for healthy aging. Question: are osteoporosis, loss of bone, and arteriosclerosis, age-related hardening of the arteries, normal byproducts of aging? We say no. This is evidence of a vitamin deficiency or insufficiency, and this is where MenoQ7, vitamin K2, comes into play. Vitamin K2 for all of life stages. The Western population has a greater life expectancy than ever before, more frequently experiencing negative age-related medical conditions, compromised bone health, cardiovascular issues. Maintaining the best possible cardiovascular and bone health are two of the most critical areas allowing individuals to age in a healthy way. Laying the foundation for healthy aging begins in childhood. K vitamins. K vitamins are actually a family of vitamins made up of vitamin K1, phylloquinone, and vitamin K2, menaquinone. Think of K1 and K2 as fraternal twins. They share similarities, such as working in a liver for blood clotting, and chemically they share a quinone ring called a menadione, but that is where their similarities end. Vitamin K2 has several molecules called menaquinones, MK4 and MK7, being the most widely used K2s. MK7 has a longer side chain than MK4, responsible for a longer half-life and reach beyond the liver. Menaquinones are shown to be the most bioavailable form. Vitamin K1 versus vitamin K2. Vitamin K1 is active in the liver and it maintains blood clotting. Vitamin K2 is available to tissues outside of the liver, such as your bones and your heart. Vitamin K2 as MK7 puts calcium in the right place. Calcium is important for bone health, but it needs to be properly utilized. Vitamin K2 as MK7 is essential for proper calcium utilization. By activating K-dependent proteins already present in the body, vitamin K2 as MK7 directs calcium to the bones and the teeth, where it is needed, and redirects calcium away from arteries and soft tissues. Unfortunately, most Western populations are vitamin K2 deficient, which can negatively impact both bone and cardiovascular health. Two vitally important proteins needed for vitamin K2. The skeleton remodels itself every 8 to 12 years. This process is regulated by osteoblasts, cells that build up bone, and osteoclasts, cells that break down bone. Osteoblasts produce a protein called osteocalcin, a vitamin K-dependent protein that binds calcium to the bone matrix to build healthy bones. However, osteocalcin needs adequate vitamin K2 to activate it. Matrix GLA protein, or MGP, is the most potent modulator of vascular calcification known. but it requires adequate vitamin K2 to activate it. Study shows that the majority of the population has insufficient levels of activated osteocalcin and MGP. Vitamin K2 and D3, bone and cardiovascular support. Vitamin D is needed in the creation of K-dependent proteins and supports calcium absorption. Vitamin K2 is critical in forming a solid bone matrix and a healthy cardiovascular system via the activation of the K-dependent proteins called osteocalcin and matrix GLA. Few vitamins work better together than vitamin K2 and D3. Both vitamins are fat soluble and they play a central role in how the body utilizes calcium, synergistically working to strengthen our bones and protect our hearts. Unfortunately, deficiency of both nutrients is recognized worldwide, and this can have a negative impact on bone and cardiovascular health. And as you can see, D3 creates osteocalcin and will create matrix GLA protein. But without vitamin K2, you just have these inactive proteins floating around. So with sufficient amount of K2, it activates both the osteocalcin for building bone and the matrix GLA protein, and that helps to direct the calcium away from the soft tissue and into the bones where it is needed. Deficiency. Vitamin K is the last recognized vitamin deficiencies, with 97% of the Western population being either deficient or insufficient in K2. Vitamin K1 is found in leafy green vegetables such as spinach, broccoli, and kale. However, vitamin K1 from food is very poorly absorbed. Only about 10% of it reaches circulation, meaning a small amount has the potential to reach peripheral parts of the body. Moreover, the liver takes what it needs of K1 with little left for other tissues. Natural vitamin K2 is produced during bacterial fermentation and is present in foods such as cheese. These products contain relatively small levels, which would require large amounts of food to be consumed. The best source of natural vitamin K2 is MK7, is a traditional Japanese dish called natto. So that is your highest source of vitamin K2 is from fermented soybeans, which is not widely ingested, and then supplementation is a wise and viable solution. Vitamin K deficiency linked to health risks, including bone health, cardiovascular health, and kidney health. The link is calcium utilization. Other newly recognized and observational studies are blood sugar regulation, brain health and normal cognition, nervous system health, eye health, dental health, lung health. MENQ7 vitamin K2 as MK7 is based in science. MENQ7 is the only clinically validated MK7 for real health benefits. We have 20 human studies performed by scientists of the University of Maastricht, observing all regulations for clinical studies and working under full academic independence. Key trials include 3-year studies published in Bone, which was published in Osteoporosis International in 2013, and a cardiovascular study that was published in Thrombosis and Hemostasis in 2015. There was also a 1-year follow-up study of that was published in Vascular Disease Therapy in 2020. Trials completed with healthy patient populations in adults and children. There is a child study that was published in Food and Function in 2014, and then a bone study in children that was published in British Journal of Nutrition in 2009. Age-related bone loss and osteoporosis. Bone mass peaks around age 30. Thereafter, it drops gradually with increasing age. Postmenopausal women are particularly exposed to age-related bone loss and subsequent risk of osteoporosis. Osteoporosis affects 75 million people in Europe, US, and Japan. 45% of women and 20 to 25% of men over the age of 50 will experience fractures. Breakthrough bone studies, benefits for adults and children. The 2013 Osteoporosis International published a 3-year clinical study evaluating the bone health benefits of vitamin K2 as MK7. It was the first long-term intervention trial on MK7 supplements for bone health benefits. 3-year K2 supplementation preserved bone mineral content and density. The study used a nutritional dose of 180 micrograms a day. And to note, for both of these studies, MENA-Q7 was the material used. In 2009, British Journal of Nutrition published a clinical study evaluating bone benefits of vitamin K2 as MK7 in healthy prepubescent children. It was a randomized, placebo-controlled, double-blind study in healthy children, 60 children, ages 6 to 10 years old, equal boys and girls. Measured the ratio of inactive to active osteocalcin to assess vitamin K status and test the effect of MK7 on osteocalcin activation. 45 micrograms a day for 8 weeks of vitamin K2 was administered. Bone health results. In this study of 244 healthy postmenopausal women, the MENA-Q7 group took 180 micrograms daily and showed significantly decreased bone loss. After 3 years, both bone mineral content and bone mineral density, as well as bone strength, were statistically significantly better for the MK7 group compared to the placebo group. Children's bone health results. Results showed that with increase in MK7, the circulating concentration of inactive undercarboxylated osteocalcin reduced, the UCR improved. There were no significant changes in the placebo group. Researchers concluded that supplementation with MENA-Q7 vitamin K2 increases circulating concentrations of MK7 and increases osteocalcin carboxylation in healthy prepubescent children, showing MENA-Q7 helps lay the foundation for healthy bone growth and therefore healthy aging. Age-related vascular calcification. Cardiovascular disease is the most common cause of death in the Western world. Excess calcium builds up in the vessel walls, causing stiffening of the walls and buildup of plaque in the arteries. Arterial constriction in the body causes increased blood pressure, increased workload for the heart, and may end in chronic heart failure. Narrowing of the coronary arteries cause reduced blood supply to the heart and may lead to a coronary infarction or a heart attack. Aortic stiffness measured by pulse wave velocity. Pulse wave velocity is a measure of arterial stiffness, or the rate at which pressure waves move down the vessel. The velocity of this movement gives a measurement of the arterial compliance or its flexibility. MENA-Q7 in the news, cardiovascular breakthrough. In February 19, 2015, Thrombosis and Hemostasis published a 3-year clinical study evaluating cardio benefits of vitamin K2 as MK7. It was the first long-term intervention trial on MK7 supplements and cardiovascular endpoints. 180 micrograms a day of MENA-Q7 was administered for 3 years, decrease of arterial stiffness in healthy postmenopausal women. To note, this benefit was not observed with vitamin K1. This study unambiguously shows improvement in arterial stiffness, a significant cardiovascular risk factor. Heart health results. Using ultrasound and pulse wave velocity measurements, researchers determined the MENA-Q7 group has on average a reduction corresponding to 3 times the normal age-related increase of arterial stiffening in the placebo group. Also, pulse wave velocity showed a statistically significant decrease after 3 years for the vitamin K2 MK7 group, but not for the placebo group, demonstrating an increase in the elasticity and reduction in age-related arterial stiffening. Again, especially in women having high arterial stiffening. This is the first time ever that any substance has shown to reverse arterial stiffness. No existing compound can do this. Break your aging curve of arterial sclerosis. Arterial sclerosis and arterial stiffening develops in parallel. Arterial stiffness is generally measured by carotid femoral pulse wave velocity. Pulse wave velocity increases throughout everyone's lifespan, typically from about 5 in your 30s to around 10 in your 60s. Clinical trials with K2 supplementation seems to help maintain normal arterial flexibility. In both clinical studies, the placebo groups had a significant increase in the pulse wave velocity. And as you can see on this chart over here, you have the 3-year study, which is in green, shows within the 3 years, you start to see a decline of the calcification. And in the follow-up 1-year study, you can see that decline is starting to happen again. Selecting the right vitamin K2 product. NattoPharma is the leader in vitamin K2 research and development with 20 published human clinical studies, including one in children. All industry claims based on MENAQ7. NattoPharma is driven by scientific evidence. We have sponsored all research confirming vitamin K2 efficacy and safety, with 20+ clinical studies to validate human health benefits. NattoPharma is committed to supporting market education and awareness focused on evidence. NattoPharma science is the #1 reason vitamin K2 is being discussed around the globe. Now and MENAQ7. Now offers MENAQ7 alone and in combination with D3 because both of these nutrients have been extensively researched for their roles in the health of bones, teeth, and the cardiovascular system. Conclusion, we all need vitamin K2 as MK7. Vitamin K2 is needed across the whole lifespan to secure strong bones and healthy arteries. Vitamin K2 as MK7 has clinically shown to be superior to vitamin K1. K2 deficiency is widespread, impacting the bone and heart health of the global population, adults as well as children. All claims for health benefits of vitamin K2 are based on research sponsored by NattoPharma, which use MENAQ7 as the actual source material. Thank you.
And thank you, Elise, for an excellent presentation. I know, gosh, we don't really hear about vitamin K2. It's kind of seems like it's up and coming.
It is. It is definitely starting to get much more recognition than it used to. And that really has to do with the amount of science behind it. Is what makes the nutrient interesting. And we keep sponsoring more and more science to support it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know what I have to get me some of as I get older. That's very interesting on the cardiovascular studies that have been done. That's awesome.
And we will have more of those.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that. I know vegan-friendly, non-GMO is a big issue these days. Is the MENAQ7 vegan-friendly and non-GMO?
Yes. So the MENAQ7 is vegan-friendly and it's non-GMO project verified.
Okay, good. And we talked about, or you talked about pairing the vitamin K2 with D3, and that's basically what I think we do at Now. We have the D3 and the K2, and we also offer it, as you mentioned, on its own. But are there any other nutrients that also work synergistically with K2?
So K2 works quite well with omega-3s, especially for your cardiovascular health. So those two are a nice pairing as well. So if you're taking, say, a K2 and D3 from Now Foods, adding one of the fish oils or one of the omega-3s would be a beautiful combination for overall cardiovascular. CoQ10 is also a very nice combination with it as well, again, for cardiovascular health.
All right. And you mentioned that it's also safe for children to take. Would they take it at the same dosage? And that would be, of course, for children for bone health. Would it be the same recommended dosage for children?
So the recommended dose that we did in our clinical trial was 45 micrograms a day. So it's a lower dose for children.
Okay.
The adult doses were 180 micrograms.
Okay. Okay. And what about any studies done on K2 for prenatal or postnatal health?
So there are more of observational studies that have been done. So K2 is important for all life stages. So that includes prenatal and postnatal. And those are the most important times for building a healthy cardiovascular system and skeletal system for both infant and mommy. It is seen, though, that K2 is found in breast milk. So it is important for overall health for infants and mom.
Okay. And you mentioned the best dosage is the 180 micrograms. Is that just per day?
Yes, that would be just once per day. So vitamin K2 as MK7 actually lasts longer in your body. Vitamin K1 or MK4, you'll see it spike in, and then within a couple hours, it's already out of your system. MK7 has a longer half-life, so it can stay in your system for up to 72 hours. So you can take a very low dose, like 180 micrograms, and just have that once per day.
Okay. And one other question, are there any contraindications for vitamin K2?
There is only one. If you were on blood thinners, such as like a warfarin or a Coumadin, because K2 does have blood clotting effects. So that would be the only time that you would have a contraindication with K2.
Okay.
Same as K1, actually. So in the K family, that is across the board.
Okay.
Other than that, it is a pretty safe nutrient.
All right. Well, really, really great information, and I'm not kidding when I say I'm going to get me some. we haven't done a webinar on vitamin K2, and so this was really, really awesome information, especially like everything else, as we age, we just don't produce it anymore. So
That's true.
Really good information.
And it really is missing. It is lacking from our diets. It really is just, unless you eat like a lot of certain types of cheeses. I mean, people are not going to eat natto. I actually had some the other day at a work event. One of my coworkers brought the natto with him. It is not easy to get down. So that's definitely not going to be part of a normal Western diet. So it's the easier way to do it is to supplement it.
And even, as much as we like cheese, that doesn't have, you have to eat a lot of it. And we certainly don't want to do that because that's not necessarily the healthiest choice.
No, and it's specific cheeses also. You'd have to eat like Gouda, Jarlsberg, Brie. It's not going to be in like, yellow American cheese or cheddar. It's in specific cheeses, the ones that are like semi-soft or fermented.
Okay. Yeah, well, the brie I could handle, but I don't think my hips could. So
I know, right?
But all right. Well, really great information. Thank you so much. And I see your website on here, the menaq7.com or the NattoPharma.com. If anyone would like more information, feel free to check them out at those websites. So thank you again, Elise, and thank you everyone for joining us today. And we will look forward to seeing you again in August. So stay tuned.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.